Live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. This is Sooner Sports Talk on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield.
Stripped by Godwin, breakaway, Sam Godwin, hammer! Godwin picked the pocket.
Wing to Verhulst, quick release three, smash.
Fierce, pull up three for the tie, foul! He hit it! He hit it! Miles, pump fake, steps left, open three for the lead, got it! He knocked the bottom out of it, and the Sooners lead it! North Weather for three, Big Luke! Big Luke! Bam! Throw ahead to Moore, Moore with the breakaway, he'll dunk it, and you can unhitch the wagon! You can unhitch the wagon! Put the ponies in the bar!
This is Sooner Sports Talk.
Welcome to Rudy's, everybody. It is time for Sooner Sports Talk on this Monday night. It's time to talk basketball. Opening segment brought to you by Noble McIntyre. McIntyre Law, the law firm you should turn to for all your personal injury needs. Please welcome the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. Porter Moser is with us tonight.
What's
Coach,
up, Toby?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Great to see you again. And Duke Miles headed up here as well. He's going to join us momentarily. Coach, every time I see you, you're full of energy. You're in a good mood. I don't know how you keep getting back up again, but that was a tough week, Coach.
Really tough week. Tough week on I thought we played really well in both games too, and just fell one possession short both games, and very hard. You know that this margin of error is very, very small. But the Kentucky game, gut punch. I thought we did so many things really well. We just couldn't get that final stop in both games. And Ole Miss, we showed resiliency. We got down 11, got down, kept on coming back, fighting back, took the lead. Duke right here made two huge offensive plays down the stretch, and going into that last play, just get a stop and we got to win. And then Padula hit that three, and just very tough. But I was really proud of how hard the guys are fighting. We just got to find a way to get over that hump and get a stop at the end of the game. And very, very tough week. But again, I can't even tell you how much energy these guys had at practice today. We just got to keep the faith, keep that proverb going, fall 7, rise 8, keep coming back. And I'd be lying if I sat here and told you those weren't two gut punch losses, losing right at the end of both games.
We'll talk more about Kentucky and Ole Miss, but please help me welcome OU shooting guard Duke Miles, everybody, as well. How we doing, Duke?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see your smiling face. You had a nice game down in Oxford.
Yes, sir.
Everything was working for you. I got to tell you, Kevin and I talk all the time on the radio about, he calls it, I think he calls it your old man game. Mm-hmm. You're 6'2"?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but Coach, he's got moves of a 6'8" guy in the post. Anytime you get down around the block and in the paint, you've got all kinds of body angles and ways to get. Where does that come from?
It came from growing up, not being that tall. So, playing up, I had to figure a way to, score the guys when I drove to the basket. So, that what kind of really came from.
Figure out how to post up or score inside on guys that are a lot bigger than you. And he's still doing it, Coach, here in college.
I was hoping
SEC.
I was also hoping to say, when he does what do you when you do this? What are you very good?
Play off 2.
When he plays off 2 feet, he comes to a jump shot really fundamental. Instead, because that's what a handful of our guards. We're not positionally sized across the board like some of the SEC guards, but it doesn't mean you can't do things. And when he gets down there and plays off 2 feet and shows it, God, is he effective. Mm-hmm. But when we go flying in there off 1 and try to take on 6'11", it's just a different story. And he's the best we've got at turning it and really starting to play off 2 feet.
He's astonishingly crafty down around the basket for sure. It's a lot of fun to watch you score down there. I gotta ask, because everybody's yelling at their television right now. How's Jalen doing? Jalen Moore.
We're getting treatment. He didn't go live today. Spirits are great. He walked through some things, got a lot of treatment, got some shots up, but he didn't go live contact, so we just got to wait and see.
Okay. Boy, to lose him early in that game, you had to readjust everything, I would imagine, as far as the game plan goes.
You could tell early on he was off because when he landed on that thing, he went up for that dunk. He did play 25 minutes, but you didn't have him the last 10. I think that was something like that. And we went with the 4-guard lineup a lot of the time. And, I thought we did a lot of good things. I mean, just, we continue to get the disparity from the free throw line. I thought Kobe, Duke, I thought Dayton was terrific. down the stretch. We got to get Sam and Mo. We really talked. I thought Sam's offense was terrific, 5 for 5. He had 12 points on 5 shots. But I thought Duke and Dayton and Kobe, specific, and Fears, all of them, did some really good things. Bryson, we got Bryson a shot on there, a little chop 45 action. But I really thought offensively these guys were so efficient and did some really good things.
Duke, tell me about kind of your approach when you're on the floor as far as looking for your own offense.
I'm really not trying to look for my own offense. I'm trying to just, find what's available, what's going on throughout the play. So, Coach draws up a play, and, he always harps on with the play after the play. And, we got to play better winning basketball. So, it going to be random. It can be a ghost, a screen, or, wherever the case may be. But whatever that, that opportunity presents itself, I'm going to try to, take advantage of any play I can.
You take a lot of pride in your defense, too. I know you're an all-defensive team guy in your former conference. I could see when you got the matchup, you got the best player on the other team, that your eyes light up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I take a very big pride on playing defense and, trying to get the other guys involved. Coach showed me, he told me as the team goes, as I go special with my energy. He knows, I can put a spark in the other players, to get everybody to lock in. So I take that with all pride and all joy and just, be ready to defend the best player or whoever you put in front of me.
The push for the NCAA tournament here, what does it mean to you personally?
It means a lot, talking to Coach through the whole recruiting process and always leading up to now, I was one of the guys that never got a chance to go in. And, by still today, we still have an opportunity to get in. So, like Coach said, he's going to keep leading, we're going to keep playing, we're going to keep fighting. So, just getting there and showing the teams and everybody in the world what we can do, I feel like we're going to shock a lot of people.
We kind of glazed past Dayton, but, Coach, we need to back up because Dayton Forsyth on Saturday, the freshman was unbelievable for you. 25 points.
Yeah, and he'll tell you the same thing. I thought it was a domino of those guys playing the right way. I mean, Ole Miss switches everything, and you got to go downhill. You can see, I thought there was about to be a highlight down there. And, Dayton went down the slot and, up and under right there. But Duke and them, they were finding each other on the slot drives, being able to hit that. Him and Duke both played off 2 feet and got into the paint. But there's right there, that Fears got to the paint, kicked it out to Dayton. Duke did that same thing, slot drive. That was Duke passing that slot drive. Those were really open. And our efficiency scoring, think about the last 3 games. We've scored 93, 87, 83 against Mississippi State, Mississippi, Kentucky. Our offense has really been efficient.
Yeah.
It's just we played way better basketball offensively since the last time we played Missouri. And when we played Florida on the road, those last games. But we just got to get this defensive stops, and it's just been an Achilles. It's the positional size, in there. We talked to Sam and Mo about, the fouls and trying to really play good one-on-one defense. But Duke gets us going defensively. They play off each other. But I thought Dayton, for a freshman, he got in there to have 25 points on 12 or 13 shots. Super efficient. And trusted these two down the stretch. Duke went slot drive, kicked it, made the right play. They got fouled on that last play, and admitted by everybody. But you can't. I don't want to put everything into that referee's hand at the end. I look at it what are all the plays leading up that we could have made up 2 points? You know what
you're great at, what your team has been great at this year is identifying the hot hand, and you keep feeding them. Dayton Forsyth, this is an amazing stat, folks. He's the 6th player on this team to have a 25-point game this year. No other team in the country has had more than 4. So, first off, you're extremely versatile in your ability to score. But, Duke, you guys also realize when it's your night, when it's Fear's night, when it's Dayton's night, who's got the hot hand. And you work, and I'm sure you're drawing it up, Coach, to get it to that guy.
Oh, yes, sir. When we see the guy got a hot hand, we try to most definitely make sure he keeps going and keep that thing going, because as he goes, we can go as well. And we love cheering on for each other and making sure, that guy getting that night. So.
Yeah, it's part of your philosophy, too.
No, absolutely. And the one mores, too. And, we know Mississippi's going to switch and then take, with slot drives, and we were kicking to that opposite slide, one more. It's a crazy stat, and I don't want to get too analytical on everybody, but 1.1 points per possession is usually outstanding. Usually, if you score 1.1 point per possession, that's usually in the top 2-3 offense. So I asked our guys today, out of 360 offenses in the country, what do you think we are by KenPom? And the answer is today we were 29th. And that shocked them.
Wow.
But we're 9th in the SEC. That shows you the power offenses in the SEC. We're like 9th in offense in the SEC, but we're 29th in the nation. But here's the crazy stat about 1.1 points per possession. 21 of our games, we've scored 1.1 points per possession. That's analytically like very, very good. That normally would be in the top 3 of any leagues. Our record in those 21 games, counting the last 2, is 18-3. Or no, 17 and 3. And it would be 19-1 if we won those last 2.
Wow.
It's just crazy, our analytics. When it's defensively, we've got to get stops and rebounds down the stretch.
Yeah.
And it's just been an Achilles heel. Kentucky, scored all those points down the stretch. So did Ole Miss, got fouled, and then Padula hit that shot. And it's hard. And same thing with LSU. We just have not been able to get that stops on crunch time in the last minute of the game.
Hey, before we lose you, Duke, I think we're going to have Kobe with us next segment. You guys, I think, are pretty tight. Tell me about your relationship with Kobe.
My relationship with Kobe is like a brother from another mother. It's funny to say. I mean, when I seen Kobe in the recruiting process, I already knew I wanted to play with that guy.
Yeah.
I kind of watched his game from day and how it translates. But that's my road dog, and even on and off the court, he always had my back. So Kobe's my brother.
That's awesome. They got. You can tell even without knowing, Coach, that those guys are tight.
No doubt. And I want it so bad for them because this is, they're right there, and you just want it so bad, and you want to keep pushing them. But you just got to. It's the hardest thing, and it's such a life lesson these guys are going to learn, is perseverance through tough times. Mm-hmm. The only path you can choose when you're having tough times is perseverance. Stay together with your loved ones and just keep fighting and keep fighting. And we got punched. We've been, we've had 3 of these losses. We got the Mississippi State win in there, but 3 of these 4 losses have been right at the end. And we got to keep bouncing back because we got another great opportunity. We got to get Missouri.
Fall 7, rise 8.
Fall 7, rise 8.
All right. Hey, Duke, it's fun to watch you, bud. Thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Duke Miles, everybody. Stay with us. Kobe Elvis will join us up here when we come back.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Dos Equis, the official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members through the Patriot of the Game. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Kids Club presented by OG&E. And brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy.
Welcome back to Rudy's, everybody. We're talking to Porter Moser, and please help welcome now the pride of Canada. Kobe Elvis, everybody, is here with us as well. The whole country loves him. What was it like playing against Brea the other day?
Oh, man, it was surreal. He was my roommate for like 3 years over there at Dayton. I lived together with him. I met his family. I know his people. So it was really, really surreal, really fun moment getting to see him and just share the floor with him. I really enjoyed it and missed it, so it was nice to see him.
It was like a practice at Dayton when you guys were out there guarding each other for a while in the middle of that game. That was fun. Hey, I finished the conversation with Duke asking him about you. I want to ask you about him. Tell me about your relationship with Duke.
It started in the summer with him. He sent me a text. He says, "Bro, you played a game. Duke loves playing Fortnite. So me and him, we play Fortnite probably every day. And that's where it all started. And I really just love his personality, his energy. It's kept me sane here. I think he's such a funny guy and fun guy to be around. So I really thank Duke.
Tell me about the season for you, Kobe, because your role changed early in conference play, which I'm sure isn't an easy thing. Did your mindset have to change? What's it been like for you?
It started off a little tough. I think, my mindset definitely had to shift and from, I think, my approach to the game and how I approached being ready for it. I think that's what had to shift. And I think once I found that, I think I've been playing really well since and been finding a way to just impact the game. I think that was my problem at first. I was mad a little bit about, probably coming off the bench, but I think we all have our own crosses to bear, and I'm finally understanding that that I can impact the game coming off the bench and just finding ways to be myself.
What I like about Kobe, a lot of things to like, Coach, but if he makes a three, get him the ball again, because there may be 4 of them right behind it, because when he gets hot, he gets hot.
No doubt. He's really got his corner three. He's got actually the best step back on the team, actually. And you might be better contested than you're not contested. But I will say this for Kobe, what's really hard. It's not easy to be starting and then when Jeremiah started. And the thing that I've tried to get across to him, and even you said it, nothing against you, Toby, but you said to get your role changed. And the thing that I really wanted him to get across, and I maybe haven't done the best job, and recently we've just really talked about it, is it isn't your role change. I still want you to be a point guard, a leader, a vocal, and we need you to score and distribute. It's a shift change. You're just not in the first shift. And that's hard, though.
Yeah.
That's not easy to ask him to do that. And he said it, it's your mindset. Your mindset to realize, all right, my role's not changed. I still got to impact the game. I still got to be a great point guard and all these things when I get in there. And the other thing I think we've talked the last couple games about just him, like when he's in there, share it with Jeremiah, like when he's in there with Dayton, like he's the point, like and they can play off each other. And I think he's been way more aggressive. The last 3 games, he's been super efficient. He's averaged 9 points a game, but shooting well over 50%. He's got a positive assist to turnover ratio. But the thing that he's been really working on is his intensity defensively consistently. There's times he's smart. He's one of the smarter guys in the team. He knows different things, knows what the other team's doing. But when he's got that intensity guarding, he helps us so much positionally defensively.
Kobe, is there still a feel in that locker room that you guys are going to get this thing done?
Oh, for sure. I don't think anybody has a doubt in their mind that we're capable of getting ourselves to the NCAA tournament and even winning that SEC tournament. I think we're a very confident group of guys, and we're always we find a way to just stay together and stay connected. I think that's the great thing about our team. We're always connected, and we're always having a mindset of getting better and figuring out ways to just continue getting better and how to win games. So.
Final week of the season here, Coach. You got 2 rematches, starting with Missouri on Wednesday night. What's important for you against the Tigers?
Well, first of all, we didn't play well there. They're one of the oldest teams in college basketball. They're an elite shooting team, elite offensive team. And so it takes you're really spread out to take away their shooters, but they really drove us and got to the foul line. They got to the foul line so much. Mitchell himself got 18 times. We can't, we're so much better since then. We've been playing more efficient basketball, but we had low assists, high turnovers. Every time we've done low assists, high turnovers, we've really struggled in the game. And we were that game. We really were giving up a lot of baskets off our turnovers. They force you into them. Today we really emphasize playing off 2 feet, sharing it, moving it like we have been. But like Caleb Grill, you fans might remember him from Iowa State.
Great
elite,
shooter.
One of the best shooters in college basketball. They're really old. Tony Perkins is from Iowa. Tamar Bates is from Indiana. Mark Mitchell's from Duke. They got a lot of transfers. But I thought when we got them in the half court defensively, we did a good job. They only hit 4 threes. That's their season low from threes. We've got to really guard the three-point line, but we've got to guard our yard. Our yard means 3 feet either way. Like we've got to guard that window. We just can't get blow-bys and get into helps with that. So we really got to guard our yard against Missouri.
This segment brought to you by Dos Equis, the official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Speaking of the Missouri Tigers, let's take a look at the schedule ahead. Brought to you by the Trails Golf Club. It's easy to remember because there's only 2 games to go in the regular season. Wednesday night at home, 7 o'clock against Mizzou. And then the Sooners will wrap up the regular season down in Austin Saturday night. Red River rivalry, 7 o'clock in the Moody Center. And then we're off to Nashville this year. That's where the SEC men's basketball tournament is. The Sooners will play on Wednesday, March 12th there. I want to ask you about a specific situation, Coach, in just kind of philosophy, because this was a big talking point on the radio show. You see coaches do it different ways. You see the same coach do it different ways depending on circumstances. When to call a timeout, when not to call a timeout. We saw it at the end of the Kentucky game. You let fears go. But what is going through your head on when to or not to call a timeout late in the game?
Well, sometimes when you're down to that thing, it's a feel because of, like we knew Jeremiah is our best guy at going downhill in a short amount of time with like 6 seconds. And so, if you call a timeout sometimes, they were doubling him on the side, which was hard to get in from the side a little bit earlier in the game. Mm-hmm. So obviously then they could double team him on the inbounds and then you're kind of take you out of it. We got the ball to the player we wanted to. We went downhill. We work and we call it attack. He got right to the rim. in 6. And actually, he was at the rim in 4 seconds. You know, we had 6.1. But, you know, I talked to him about it, making the right decision, making the right play, drawing 3, trying to score. The Mississippi game, there was a little bit more time. We got it, and we didn't have it, so we called timeout. But sometimes, and I've done it, you know, the whole time it's a feel. If you got the ball in bounds and you're attacking, you know, you don't get the other team defense to set. They're not rotating, and you get them on their heels. And Jeremiah had them right on the edge of the rim, and we didn't make the play. And so you're sitting there. Sometimes if you would have called timeout and you double team him, you can't get the ball in, because that would have been our last timeout. So. You want the ball, and we got the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
We got the ball down to the rim. We got to the rim. We just didn't make the play.
Kobe, we got about a minute here, but it's interesting, I think, to watch you guys this year because you got the upperclassmen in you and Duke and even Bryson in the backcourt, and then you got the kids, Fears and Forsyth. What's it been like, that relationship between the 5 of you?
It's been fun. I think, you know, it's always love when it comes, you know, from that group of guys just being together. I think that me and Duke do a decent job of just giving those 2 guys all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
Like, Fears is an amazing player, and so is Dayton. And I think our job is just, you know, just give them all the confidence they need. Dayton's a dog, Fears is a dog, and just give them all the love and confidence they need to just go be themselves and make plays, because that's what they need to hear.
That's one of the things I respect most about you and Duke and Bryson this year is obviously you want to score, you want to play, but it does seem like you've kind of taken on a mentorship role with the youngsters as well, which I think is really cool. You don't always see that.
I'll say to that it's I can't say it enough. You know how hard it is when we had to make that change with Jeremiah and Kobe, and a lot of people wouldn't handle it as much. And he's not kidding. He truly does pour into Jeremiah.
That's awesome.
He really, really, truly pours into Jeremiah, and it speaks to Kobe's character and who he is. Because that's not always easy. And he is absolutely 100%. You see him pulling Jeremiah around all the time. And sometimes you see pettiness of a guy maybe like, all right, I hope Jeremiah screws up, then I'll get my chance again.
Yeah.
It 100% has been the opposite of that. And that's such a credit to Kobe Elvis.
7 o'clock Wednesday night, OU and Mizzou in the LNC. Go get them, Coach.
All right,
Appreciate you being here. Porter Moser,
Thank you,
Kobe.
guys.
We'll be back with Jenny Baranczyk. Stay with us.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Norman Hyundai, your premier Hyundai dealership for new and used cars. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Orthodontics Exclusively is a proud sponsor of the Junior Captain of the Game. Junior Captain is the ultimate fan experience for children 6 to 12.
Welcome back to Rudy's, everybody. This segment brought to you by the Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. We are having a good time because we're talking women's basketball now. Please help welcome Jenny Baranczyk to the dais. Everyone, dais is a fun word to say. Hi, Coach.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Skylar Van here as well with us. Hi, Sky.
Hello.
Hi. The Sooners, by the way, just beat Alabama to finish the regular season on Sunday. Crowd loves that.
We had a great crowd, by the way.
Great crowd.
We had a really engaging crowd. It was, and I mean, there was a little motivation from myself telling them to stand up, but what was really nice is that they got up. And it was loud.
They listened to you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, exactly.
Coach Baranczyk's team, by the way, closed the regular season on a 7-game winning streak heading into the postseason, and will be the 5 seed in the SEC women's tournament this week. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first off, great win against Alabama. Important win over them. Had to be thrilled. I thought you played great again.
Well, you know, honestly, Alabama is so good, and they are, you know, they're a team that is very experienced and together, and they actually faced kind of some of their adversity early as well and are playing their best basketball. So one of their best players was out early in the season, so they lost some of those games early, and you can really tell they're starting to get their groove. So for us to be able to play the way that we did, I thought was really phenomenal. And honestly, think we learned a lot too, and it was just a really good team win. A lot of emotion. A lot of emotion.
I saw the video, Scott.
From our seniors. This guy started crying before the game. So, but also it's just a really cool testament to her class, and really how much that jersey matters. And when you get to see that, it was pretty cool. So I was really proud of a lot of our team for just stepping up and being able to keep it a game and play for our seniors.
Well, first off, it's not going to be the last game you play in the Lloyd Noble Center, Sky, because we're going to get you a regional host site here. You're going to get you a regional host site, so you're going to be back in the LNC here in a couple of weeks. But I would imagine it was pretty emotional. This has meant a lot, not just to you, but your family, I know, too, hasn't it?
Definitely, and I think for me, I think Aubrey, her name was called first, and I think that's when the tears started flowing for me, just because I just love this team so much, and I'm just so blessed to be able to play with these group of girls and the girls I've played with in the past. I've made a really special relationship, and I am just so blessed. I know, right? I was
yes, that was good.
Startled by the sound effect.
Yeah, sorry. But I'm just, like I said, just blessed to play with these girls on this court. And the way we played yesterday, you could just feel the connection, really just wanting to win for each other. So.
What, in your mind, Sky, has clicked the last 7 games for you guys?
I think we've gotten really connected. This is the most connected we've been this season. And I think you're able to see it, just how we're able to get the ball in and get it out and get our emotion. And I think this is the most Oklahoma basketball we've felt this season, and it's really exciting. So.
Explain connected. What do you mean by that?
I think just really wanting to play for each other. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think wanting to see each person succeed. And I think that is how we play, and that's how we always played here. And I think also just be able to kind of get movement and get people in really good positions and good scoring positions. Yeah. I think that's just our best basketball.
You agree?
I do. We talked about this, I don't know, a few weeks ago now, where I said everything changed on that Tuesday, and it really did. I mean, we could all feel that there was a major shift, and we knew that we've been growing and we've been learning. But I think this team has so much fun together. Today was the first day, and we were watching film, and we had practice today, and it was the first day that I even thought, wow, we just finished the regular season. I didn't think about it yesterday at the end of the game. You go on to the next thing, you go on to the tournament, you go on to, all the different things that you don't even take a second to say, wow, we just finished our first SEC season.
Yeah.
And we're tired. And yet we keep pushing through. And, we walked in the locker room, and they were doing their stuff, and they were in the back, and we were sitting there as a staff getting ready to watch film, right? Because we're like, our defense wasn't great yesterday. As much as we loved that game, it wasn't necessarily great, and so we wanted to be able to watch some of it. And you can just hear laughter, loud laughter. So they're tired, but they love each other. And it doesn't matter who's talking to who. It's not their little cliques. It's not just this group and that group, but they just had a lot of fun. And then I think they were so tired that they started laughing at themselves on the film. So I don't even know how productive the film was. They started to make fun of each other. And so, but it was just, that's how this team has just grown. They can be vulnerable, they can fall down. But our seniors have really taken on, I think what Sky kind of talked about in growing too is, I think you had all this expectation, and we wanted to do, and we wanted to be, and we wanted to do this, and we wanted to be this. And instead, I think they got to a point where they just wanted to really love each other and play the game of basketball. Yeah. And that's where the connection comes in play.
First lap around the sun here. You still got the tourney to go, but what did you think about your first trip around the SEC? How does your new conference compare?
What you think, Sky?
I think it was a blast. I'm super blessed to be able to play in this conference. I think, it's an insane conference. I mean, every week you have 2 teams that, like we said, we haven't played, and we were kind of the underdog this season, and just not having any idea of what we were going against. And I think be able to finish the way we did, that's not easy. Winning 7 games in a row is not easy in this conference. And I think that just showed the growth we've had. I think this season definitely has shown growth and how that connectedness does matter, and how having fun does matter, and just enjoying the game changes everything in how you finish out the season. So,
do you feel like you've locked up a top 4 seed?
I mean, I do. Obviously, you can go and not do well, but this team's not going to do that. We're going to go and play well. The results take care of themselves. I'm not worried about whether or not you win or lose. It's really how you play at this point, because that's what people are watching. They're watching how you're playing, how you how you look, how our environment was. That's why it was important for us to have a really good, active crowd yesterday at our game.
Yeah.
It's important. It's an important piece. And that may or may not be a reason why we've been overlooked in the past and been that 5 seed, that first 5 seed, right, in the last couple of years.
They want to sell tickets.
They want to sell tickets, and they want to have a great crowd on TV, and they want, people to just love this game like everyone does on a national level right now. And so we've got to continue to grow that. But I do think that, but I don't think that we're playing for a seed. I think we're playing for each other. It's just a totally different feel that we've had.
Sky, I think you're the most interesting player on this basketball team because you were the Big 12 Player of the Year last year, and then you insert Reagan Beers, and that was, I would imagine, a little discombobulating. So what has that whole figuring out how to play with Reagan and where you fit now and where she fits, what's that journey been like for you?
Well, and Liz Scott and her sister.
Oh, there you go.
So, there's a lot that's different than from a year ago.
And I think for me, it was just definitely having to figure out how to kind of get in more so emotion, not be able to probably sit in the paint as much as I did in past seasons. But I think this has just grown my game, and I'm super blessed to have met Reagan and just played with her and playing on my sister's eye and having Liz back. Like, having those people in this group, we're just astronomically better. But I think for me, it was definitely growing my game because I'm not able to just sit in the paint, like I said, or just sit on 3-point line. You got to cut, you got to flash the ball, maybe dribble a little bit. And I think for me, I'm super lucky to experience this at this point because I want to keep playing. So I think this is something I would have to work on anyway. So
the progress, development, maturity of your sister as the year went along too. She went from timid to, wow, she's something else by the end of the year.
Yeah, I am super proud of her. I had to talk to her after a lot of games early in the season.
We had a good one with her once, too.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
But I think for me, it was just more so getting that timidness out and getting really confident with her decision-making. And I think that decision-making is proven. I think she's making the great reads to hit the post, kick it out to like Lexi Keys or hit Reagan inside, or just go up and make those layups. And so I'm really happy to see her game grow.
Sooners will play on Thursday at 12:30. They get either Georgia or Arkansas in
Toby,
their first game.
I have one more thing that I just want to be able to say really fast. I know we're going to a break, but I do want to say, a lot of times seniors, you start to get to where you're like, okay, I'm almost done, my future and all this stuff, and I'm, about all these things. And, Sky has faced so much adversity in life, and she's so resilient. And she is going to make it no matter what she decides to do. She can play if she wants to keep playing. She could coach if she wants to coach. And really anything she ever does, she's going to be just fantastic because she's not afraid of anything. She's not afraid to fall down. She's not afraid to get up. She's not afraid to speak up. But she's leaving Oklahoma ready for life. And she's going to continue to make an impact on this team as we finish it. But I couldn't be more proud to have been able to coach her.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well said, Coach. Sky, thanks for being here
with
us tonight. Beatrice Culleton joins us when we come back here at Rudy's. Stay with us.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. See your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealer.
Welcome back. We're talking women's hoops. This segment is brought to you by Dos Equis, brought to you by Pike Pass. Make it home safe, Oklahoma. Can't read.
Too much Dos Equis, apparently.
Too much. Segment 2 was a little hard on me. Yeah. Please welcome Beatrice Culleton now with us. Hi. How are we doing, B?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Congratulations. Great season. Great close to the season for you guys. It's been so much fun. All year long, it's been so much fun to watch you guys, but especially here in the last 3 weeks or so. What have you felt like has really come together for you?
Yeah, well, it's fun to play, so I'm glad that it's fun to watch. But I feel like we're connected and we're moving all in the right direction, and I feel like it shows. And I think that you guys can see that we're having fun, and I do think that matters. So I think that we look like we're having fun, we are having fun, and the score takes care of itself.
What is your mindset, philosophy when you come into the game?
I try not to have one.
Blank slate.
Yeah. I think I've struggled, and Jenny's probably seen me struggle, where I try to give myself a box and set it there. But I think going in and reading the game is better for me.
Why is that, you think?
I tend to stick
Are you an
to it.
overthinker?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But I tend to stick to it. So I guess I'm persistent, if that's anything.
You determined before you go in, here's what I'm going to do.
No, and honestly, it'll get worse than that. So I think I try to just go in and do what happens.
I mean, I'm a little speechless on just listening to her talk because we've had so many different conversations, and so it's always fun when you ask them those kinds of questions and how they respond. And we've talked about her. You know, Bee's going to be a doctor, and so she tries to make sure everybody feels good.
Right.
And everybody does their job. So
that's
she
good,
will she will literally sit there and be like, okay, what do I need to do for this person and this person and this person, and then sometimes forget about herself in the process. And I think she's just become really the leader on the team. I mean, her voice, her confidence has been really impactful. It is very, she is so Oklahoma, and she is so about the team. And I think, you know, she's grown a lot, especially over these 3 years. But she wants to play to everyone's best strength, and you don't always see that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't always see that in a team, but Beatrice is one of the players you have to have on your roster. So we want her to post up a little bit more. We want her to do some more things.
Selfish.
We want, and not even selfish, but just being assertive. And I think when she goes in, there's times where she goes in and she will just rip the ball out of somebody's hands. And that's the Bee that we want.
That. Yeah.
We want to go in. But she also just does what she has to do. You know, there's times where at the beginning of the season it was, you know, her and Reagan would sub in for each other, and so she would go in and be a center, and now they go in a lot, and so, you know, you're watching her get through ball screens, you know, just not that well, but a little bit okay.
Hey, now, come on now. I'm taking a shot at you here on TV.
She touched them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I mean, honestly, every time we say, can you just try this, do this? Because Alabama's playing 4 guards. You know, we played Florida Gulf Coast in the tournament last year, and they play 5 guards.
Yeah.
So you have to really diversify your skill set on both ends of the floor. And I think she really just says, okay, I got to do what the team needs me to do. And some days it's different.
What is the origin of trying the Twin Towers this year, putting them in together?
You know,
Are you applauding my question? Is that what you're?
Yeah, I think so. I'm hearing a chant of Toby.
They love the Twin Towers. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's right. No, honestly, I think they work really well together every single day, right? And I think being able to put each other in different combinations. But Bee has really become a high-low passer, and sometimes they go right to the right person, and sometimes she keeps working through stuff. But she's not afraid to try it, and we joke about it because I know where she's coming from, and I know that, you know, her and I have spent a lot of time together this year and having these conversations. But she's not afraid to fall down, and I think a year or two ago she was.
Yeah.
And so right now it's really neat to be able to see her grow and to speak up in teams and to watch film, and she'll come in and say, every turnover was my fault. And I'm like, well, you had some, but they're not all your fault. But she wants to be able to really just help everybody, and she means it. It's not like she's coming in to say, don't run us, because just run me. And I don't run them, by the way, anymore.
Anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've tried everything. Trust me, the running didn't work. But no, I just think she's just the consummate teammate, and I think her leadership and her overall personal growth has been able to come out between the lines this year.
Rudy's question of the night. This is for you, Bee. What's your relationship like with Reagan?
Reagan's fun. I think, first of all, she's really easy to pass to. And I think maybe with the Twin Towers, you guys can see that it's almost just like a tip pass in. But she's really fun. I think she obviously wants to win. Her head is in the right spot always. And she sometimes kind of gets in that, like, she's not selfish enough part where she'll be like, Bee, you had this. And I'm like, no, Reagan, I had you on the dump pass. And it's like, well, she just wants to win. And she doesn't care how it happens. And, you know, she's gotten in foul trouble or has maybe struggled with some injuries this season, but she just wants to win. And I think it's really, really easy to back somebody and be a teammate with somebody who just wants to win. And then it makes it easier that she's fantastic and can post up pretty much anybody and gets and ones.
Yeah.
So
22-11 against Bama. Back-to-back SEC Player of the Week, Reagan Beers. She's coming on big time down the stretch for you here, Coach.
Well, I think the reason she's coming on is because we're coming on.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the balance that we've had in every single game. I think we've had games where we've solely focused just on Reagan, and I don't think that's well. And then we've solely focused on trying to shoot, the 3 ball, and that doesn't go well. And we've played games with her. We've had to play some games without her. I think what Peyton Verhulst is doing right now has been absolutely incredible. I mean, the way that she's she makes things look really easy. And when she's one of the best players I've ever seen, and I've said this so many times, but she's one of the best players I've ever seen in terms of her off-ball movement. She can just make things happen, and she doesn't even have to touch the ball. And obviously, she can shoot the ball. She can do a lot of different things. But you look at Skylar really coming on right now, and then you look at what Sahara Williams is doing, and she's
everybody's playing great at the right time.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think it's easy to B's point. I think the games aren't easy. You're still playing as hard as you possibly can, but it's easy to play with one another. And that's what you want.
You're making it look fun. Let's quickly, before we get out of here, take a look at the road ahead, brought to you by the Trails Golf Club. It's quite simple. First game of the SEC tournament in Greenville, South Carolina for the Sooners coming up on Thursday. You don't know your opponent yet. It'll be either Georgia or Arkansas, 12:30 on Thursday afternoon. I'm not going to ask you which you prefer because you're not going to answer that anyway.
You're right.
So good luck against everybody in Greenville,
we'll take it.
Coach.
We'll take it.
Go
We'll
win
take
the
on
whole thing.
everybody.
And
Hey,
we'll
thanks,
see
you guys.
back
Appreciate
here
you all.
in Norman
Boomer.
for the NCAA tournament. We'll wrap it up next. Stay with us. Thanks, B. Thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you to our Cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
Brought to you by your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. That was a fun 2 hours. Hope you enjoyed it. Basketball, by the way, just to remind you, for the men, they will play 2 final games of the regular season this week. Wednesday night at home, 7 o'clock against Missouri. And then Saturday night, we will be on the road down in Austin to take on the Longhorns. And then it's off to Nashville for them for the SEC men's tournament. The women are done with the regular season. They open SEC tourney play on Thursday in Greenville, South Carolina. They are the 5 seed. They'll take on either Georgia or Arkansas. Hopefully win the whole thing, and then the NCAA tournament will be after that. And we'll be back with you right here next week for Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Have a great week, everybody. Boomer Sooner.
Live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Sooner Sports Talk has been brought to you by Dos Equis, official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.